and welcome back to another video from HSTV. My name is Heen. I'm a second year medical student here at Edinburgh University, and as you can see by the title of this video, exam season is here and my exams are very soon approaching. So let me tell you what I've got coming up in just a few weeks. I have my anatomy spot exam, I have an OSCE, which is history taking, explain and advice skills, and then I also have my main knowledge exam. So that's 3 exams and not a lot of resources to be working with. So I went online as kind of looking for question banks, you know, specifically for my anatomy is where this all stemmed from. I was looking for something that showed me kind of cadaveric images and then had like labeling and asked me to label things, you know, things like that. And I came across Med School Bootcamp and I thought, you know what, this looks really good for preclinical especially. It looks about my level and the kind of level of knowledge that I'm expected to have for my exams. So I reached out to the guys and they very kindly sponsored this video, and I'm going to be doing a review of Med School Bootcamp. So please stay tuned to get your discount codes and to see what Med School Bootcamp is all about and how you as a preclinical medical student can make the most out of it. Med School Bootcamp is an all-in-one resource specifically tailored to preclinical medical students, and it has tutorial videos, it has question banks, board-style questions, and live help available anytime. So rather than me just standing here talking through what's so great about it, I think it's time to show you guys exactly what the capabilities of this resource are. So we are here at Med School Bootcamp, and as you can see, it's a very nice website. And the great thing about these guys is that they're new. So they came out in 2021 and have really been flourishing and improving all of their features in 2022. So you might have heard of it, you might not have heard of it, but they are really a dark horse, and I'm going to show you guys all the features that you have available. And I guess to do that we have to make an account, and I've already got an account, so I'm already logged in, but you guys would make an account, and when you make an account you get a 3-day free trial before you have to upgrade and buy the membership. Now we'll talk more about that later, but as you can see when I log in I have a lot of things that I can go and do. Okay, the first thing to mention before I showcase all of the brilliant features is that Bootcamp is not only for medical school. So you could be a dental student, in which case you can buy the dentistry bootcamp. Then you have an optometry bootcamp, and you have one for natural sciences as well, which is going to be covering things like anatomy and chemistry. So I'm only going to be showcasing the medicine one because the medicine one actually covers a lot of stuff. So it obviously covers all these specialties that you need to know for preclinical medicine, but it also covers things like anatomy as well. So the best option for me is the medicine one, and that is what I will be showcasing for you guys today. So at the top here you can see that we have our daily warm-up questions. We also have our main specialties, so because this is preclinical, this is kind of all the stuff that we need to know, and it tells you kind of how much through the course you are. So for example, for gastroenterology I've done like 20 questions out of the 302 available, and we have different tutors for each specialty. We also have some foundational courses which are also very handy because we really need to have a good idea on this kind of stuff for preclinical. So we have like gross anatomy, we have neuroanatomy, histology and embryology. And we also have this section at the bottom which shows us our tagged questions. So it works kind of like Anki, where you do questions and you tell the resource, are you finding it difficult? Is it kind of okay, or is it completely fine and you got that concept? And then you will review questions based on this tagging system. Now, apart from all of this, you can see at the bottom here that there is this little chat feature, and there is an option to send Bootcamp a message. Now they reply quite quickly, and you can ask them a message, a question about any of the content that you might be confused about, or any general questions as well about maybe a video not working or anything that you're having trouble with. So they're a really good service, and I've not really seen a lot of other resources who give you all of these features in one place. So let's hop right in to, for example, cardiology. It's a topic that a lot of people find difficult, and let's see how this resource can help us out. So the first thing is you have videos, and this is the same for any of the specialties. Now you have a lot of cardiology videos that range from your kind of anatomy to your general vascular system, all the way to your cardiac cycle, arrhythmias, etc. And there's a lot of them. So these are like your lectures basically. And if we go into, I don't know, like this, we can start a lesson, and here we have the master lesson outline. This is basically your lecture slides that you can download and save for your own notes. So this is great. Like, you don't even need your university notes. You can literally just download these from here. And then you have all these videos, and you watch the videos that are led by professional tutors who are physicians and doctors and kind of the people who know what they're talking about, right? And they do all of these videos, and there's a lot of them. And then after each video, you have a quiz as well to straight away kind of check your learning. And yeah, I don't know the right answer to this. I'm just gonna say this. Okay, that's wrong. And then it will quiz you, and it will kind of go over things in the lecture as well. So there's a lot of that. So this is just the vascular system, and you can see there's videos and quizzes for each thing. And again, you can do this tagging system to let them know how you are finding it all. Okay, so let's say that you have now finished the lectures and you kind of know what's going on. Then it's time to move on to the board style questions, and these are the real exam style questions. Now, I am based in the UK, Edinburgh University is in Scotland, and this resource was made in America, so they kind of use a few different terms, and their main board exam is the USMLE Step 1, which actually a lot of UK medical students do anyway. And there's not a lot of differences between the system in the UK and the USA, so I think we can put that aside for now. Now the board style questions, as you can see, like let's say we do a physiology one. Again, we have this wonderful interface which is very exam-like, and this is really board style questions, so kind of very case-based. You're looking for a diagnosis, they are giving you, values, and there's a lot of questions for each specialty, each topic. And again, it tells you whether you got it right and wrong, and then it also tells you the reasons for that and explains everything, and even gives you kind of key takeaways and things like that. And again, you can tag it so that they know whether to bring it up again or if you are okay with it. Now we also have another section within each specialty, and that's this section called bites. So in this case, it would be cardio bites. And bites is essentially kind of bite-sized questions that cover what you've learned in these videos. So this is again testing your recall, and it's another great way of active revision. So for example, like this, we can jump back in and you can see that we have questions. So these are not like board style questions, they're not like case-based exam style, but they still test your knowledge in an active way once you've done these lectures. And again, it will kind of explain every single one. So I don't know, what would this be? I'm not sure. Okay, so there we go. We can see I haven't revised this topic. So again, it tells you kind of where this is coming from and the explanation behind it as well. And another opportunity to tag. And I want to show you guys that just like for cardiology and neurology, topics that people find quite difficult, it's the same kind of layout for things like gastroenterology as well. So you have your GI videos, so these are your actual lessons, and then you have the quiz and all that kind of stuff, the same that we had for cardio, again put together by physicians and lecturers and professors who know what they're talking about. And then you have quizzes like this again as well, with explanations. Now, I could do this for any topic, and we have like questions, again, we have board style questions as well, especially for topics like neurology, where, it's really tricky. Board style questions can be really handy to understand that kind of thing, and there's a lot of board style questions to get through. So there is no running out of things to do on this resource. So I actually want to show you guys these foundational courses now, because this is really what made this resource click for me. and specifically the anatomy. So let's go into gross anatomy here, and there are different topics depending on what you're going through. Now obviously, like these days I'm doing abdomen and pelvis because that's, you know, what I'm going to be tested on. So I have these lessons that I can, you know, download resources for. You can see here that these are like lecture slides for this topic that I can just have to keep, which is really nice. And then I also have lectures on this where, you know, the tutors actually go over stuff. And I also have them going through some practice questions as well. Now, that's all great, but one big thing that I always look for in anatomy resources is the question banks, and specifically cadaveric images. Now, mostly when I've come across resources that have question banks, they are looking at models, and models and pictures are great, but it's not reflecting the real life situations. And for anatomy spot exams, I need to get familiar with these cadaveric images, and that's really hard because during COVID times it's been really hard to get in the labs, and we've not been having that much exposure to these models. So this resource is brilliant for this, and you can see that we are using cadaveric images, and we have questions on them that we can use and answer, and you get explanations from the lecture and kind of things like that. Now, it uses a variety of different images, which is really nice to see, because you want to have that variety when it comes to cadaveric models. So yes, I think it's a brilliant thing that they have here. Okay, going back here, we have something called Atlas, and Atlas is essentially these high yield notes. So they're not like lecture slides, they're more kind of, you know, high yield notes. I think that's the best way to describe it. But you have these cadaveric images which are all labeled up, and this is only 13 slides long. So I would call this a high yield note, and it's an atlas. So I think that explains it pretty well and really useful. You can just have these handy and saved, ready to revise from whenever you want. And the last section we have here is called practical exams. So these are also questions, but they are slightly different. You can see here that you have this is from upper and lower limbs, by the way. So it's again labeling up cadaveric images, and it's another great way that you can use if you have to examine patients. These are important structures that you should be aware of. Okay, I want to focus my attention a bit more on neuroanatomy because I think this is a really challenging topic and quite hard to teach and learn, but I think that this resource does a really good job of it. The fact it has a separate section for neuroanatomy says a lot. And it's split up the different parts of neuroanatomy into its different topics. And you can see, for example, cranial nerves here. We have, first of all, a downloadable handout. So this is 32 slides. So this is not like the high yield notes. This is your lecture slides, what you should understand. And then we have kind of videos to accompany that. So these are like your actual lectures. And then we will have summary and practice questions as well, which kind of goes through everything that you need to know. Now, other than that, we have these brilliant question banks, which again use cadaveric images, which again, very good for the brain. So cranial nerves again, I guess we'll stick to. You can see here that we have a really nice image of the brain. It's a real cadaver, and we have to answer the questions, and it does that for literally like every part of the brain that you can think of, at least what you need to know for like USMLE step 1. And then on top of that, we also have the atlas, as I showed you guys before. So for example, cranial nerves, if we download that, this is going to be the high yield notes. So again, this is just like 3 slides, and it's literally just going over labeling where these cranial nerves originate from, and where you need to know about them. So like if you just have these 2 slides, you'll have a good understanding of where to find these cranial nerves. Now moving on to histology, which is another one of my favorite topics. We have a lot of histology, and again the images they use are fantastic. So let me show you guys something for endocrine system. Let's go for this time. So again, same sort of layout. We have a downloadable handout, which is our lecture slide, and it will show you histological images, believe it or not. And these images are really nice to sort of learn from, and yeah, we get it all. But then actually what's amazing is that you get questions on them as well. So you get all these videos and lectures and everything, right? And then you have the question banks, which is really what you need to know about. So if we have something like, I don't know, respiratory system, and we do the question banks on this, first of all, it has questions like this, and then it also has questions where you have to look at histological images. So it's a really nice mixture of different types of questions, and I think it tests your knowledge really well. And lastly, I want to cover embryology, which is also a massive part of this kind of preclinical course. And again, they really focus on it. So things like your thoracic system, again, you have your downloadable handout. Show you guys a little snippet of that. So this is all the slides that they will be teaching from, and they're actually really unique slides. So these are all their own images. This is things that you've never seen before. And then you have your actual lectures, and they'll go through everything if you are struggling. And then you have these question banks, which is really brilliant, because as always I recommend active revision and active revising. So for something like this, you can see that we have a ton of questions that we can go through, and let's say I get something wrong, which I probably will, this is gonna explain it all for you. So that's really brilliant. Now we also have these extra student resources. So these are actually Anki decks. So this is something that they've done sort of specifically for the embryology part. So this is, I've not really seen this for any of the other sections, but you can see here that there are Anki deck right here that you can practice from and download and put into your Anki account. So this is a really nice little collaboration. Okay, so why should you upgrade your membership, I guess, right? So first of all, this is what the pricing works like at the moment. So right now it's $47 per month, or $197 for 1 year of access. If you want 2 years, you get for $347. Now, what's included in the membership? So what's the difference between the free version and the upgraded version? So first of all, the free version, when you make an account, you get, as I said before, 3 days free trial of access to all the features, so you can try it out completely free. Now, after that, you will get a very limited access to these resources. So if you buy the version, you are getting thousands of videos, you're getting thousands of questions, you are getting hundreds and hundreds of these questions and videos for every specialty, as well as the stuff for the foundational course as well, which you are not getting with the free membership. Now, for me, this is brilliant because it's giving you lectures, high yield notes, questions, active recall, cadaveric images, diagrams, things that a lot of resources just don't offer, like all in one, right? So for me, this is a win-all kind of situation. So let's say you use Med School Bootcamp for 3 days and you like it, just like I did. Well, you can get 30% off by using code HSTV30 on your membership when you upgrade. So I hope that I can help you guys to make the most of this brilliant resource. Alright guys, well that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you can see that Med School Bootcamp can really help you out as well in your revision. It's definitely been a great addition to my timetable, and I'll hopefully be using it in the weeks leading up to my exam. Remember to use code HSTV30 to get your 30% off when you upgrade your membership, and let me know down in the comments how you guys feel about it and any other resource you would recommend to myself and to fellow students as well. So stay tuned and I'll see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.